This episode of Collateral Gaming Bonus Round, we delve into our top 5 favorite boss battles in gaming, and we do a random game review on New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So stay tuned. Welcome to Collateral Gaming Bonus Round. I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Dakota Chancellor.
And we are podcasting straight from San Antonio, Texas. We are a 420 friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it blunts, bongs, dabs, joints, smoke it if you've got it, my friends. Smoke it if you've got it.
Smoke a lot of it. I'm going to need a lot of it for this episode.
Well, you know, especially during this time of quarantine.
Yeah, there's not really much else to do right now, honestly.
We are actually officially quarantined. We are momentarily not working our jobs, although looking into, possibilities for working from home. And I've got a lot of time for gaming, a lot of time for focusing on the podcast right now. So it's been pretty great.
Yeah, a lot of time for everything. Everything other than doing what we need to do, like, work and school and all that. But, oh well, who needs to do that?
Yeah, I mean...
And the government, where's my money?
Yeah, the government will take care of it, right? I don't know. I mean, we're in a pretty fortunate situation, so we've kind of got things taken care of, but... So being able to be off from work is nice. But for, some of us out there, maybe that's not true. So we're tremendously sorry. But consider this podcast our apology. Consider this our little gift, our little contribution during this. Just something to listen to. This is going to be a little bit more relaxed than our normal episodes.
Yeah, we don't really give a fuck anyway, so...
This is going to be more like our Collateral Gaming Extras, but we're rebranding it Collateral Gaming Bonus Round.
Bonus Round.
It is kind of an analog to Collateral Cinema Director's Cut. And we're going to kind of tweak the format a little bit here. Instead of just bullshit, we are going to kind of stick to a topical format, about gaming. We have a few topics. That being today, starting off with a top 5.
Yeah, top 5, what was it? Boss battles, right?
Yep, top 5 boss battles in the world of gaming. This is going to be a fun list to go through. Dakota and I have played a lot of games together. I think you can kind of get a glimpse at, what kind of gamers we are personally from our choices on this list.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I guess we'll get right into it.
As much as I would like to say, Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid, unfortunately, I've never played those games.
I haven't played Metal Gear Solid either, but eventually that's something I think we want to put on because I've heard enough about it. And that Psycho Mantis boss battle is like insane.
Where you have to plug your controller into a different port just to beat the boss.
I guess that's an honorable mention there, except we haven't played it. So
yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, starting at number 5, I'm doing Quadraxis from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Prime 2 Echoes. I'm trying to remember that boss battle. I was young when we played Echoes.
Did you get that far? Did you get to the
Sanctuary
but I remember
Fortress?
Watching
you play it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
I'll be honest, I've only fought Quadraxis once or maybe twice, but I remember it being a boss battle that was...
extremely difficult.
It was difficult up until then, maybe the most difficult. And I don't know. Some of that shit there was a lot of bullshit in that game. It's I don't know. Maybe my favorite out of the Prime trilogy. I don't know. Maybe Corruption. Anyway, Quadraxis was unique at that point because this boss battle required that you make effective use of all of your weaponry and all of the abilities you've gained up until this point. Originally, I was going to put Metroid Prime, the titular enemy from...
oh, there's the baby.
From Metroid Prime.
Well, if
that's my daughter in the background.
Yeah, we have a guest star today. That'll be the Hazel Bean. Dad. Yep.
Special guest, Hazel Chancellor.
Woohoo.
Hey, baby. Anyway, So Quadraxis was an interesting battle because you had to make use of not just one single ability that you'd learn, but a lot of them. Metroid Prime had a similar quality, being the final boss of the game titled after it.
Right.
And it had you use all of your beams, and that's an honorable mention for me, just because, that's a very epic final boss battle, like a lot of these in the list are, or at least in my list, and just the whole elemental weaknesses and things. That was a cool component.
That was a really cool component. I remember that. There's a lot of elements in that game.
Yeah, but Metroid Prime 2 kind of has that edge of, you're in the dark ether. So
Right.
I was about to say the Dark World. That's Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Or Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
In Dark Ether, that constantly saps away your life energy. And at this point in the game, you've got a better armor that can negate that to some extent, but you're still losing, about 1 point a second.
Right.
And yeah. But thankfully, sorry, my daughter just looked at me. It was really cute. But thankfully, but there's actually no light beacons in that boss battle. So, but that was my number 5. Dakota, I guess you didn't play too much into that, but you remember, me playing that game, right?
Right. I remember you playing that a lot, and I also played the multiplayer with you a lot. That was a lot of fun. I particularly remember that. Just the multiplayer aspect in general. I guess next on our list here, after, what was it? Your Quadraxis would be number 4.
No, you're number
What?
5.
Oh, I'm number 5. My number 5.
My
Okay,
number
I
5,
see.
and then your number 5.
You didn't explain this to me earlier. Ah, yes. Number 5 was, in Fable 3 was the Crawler. That was a good one because your battle at the end was pretty intense. I mean, it was pretty freaky. Of all the Fable games, I'd like to say that was one of the scariest boss battles that I had played. And because it was at the end, and you think everything's going to go great, and then the Crawler comes and terrorizes your entire kingdom after you've already became king. You know what I mean? And you don't have a chance to, do anything because this darkness is coming, and you have just a little X amount of time to save yourself and the kingdom. And then, Walter. Rest in peace, Walter.
That was an emotional boss battle, and I
It
think
sure was.
for us, for a lot of the items in this list, it's not so much how challenging that battle was,
Or
or
just
even
the
just how
impact it
fun the
made,
gameplay
really.
is, but a lot of it is the cinematic qualities.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I think the epicness of it being, a final confrontation in a lot of cases, makes the boss battle all the more compelling, story wise. And so, I remember that was particularly emotional, having to face Walter and him dying at the end. Spoiler alert! But we had our episode.
We had our
already.
episode. So if you didn't listen to our episode, you probably shouldn't because it was our first episode and that was miserable. But just watch it and you'll understand.
Yeah. But that was interesting, and kind of, the other part of that was just how creepy the Crawler was. Fighting against him earlier, but not as a boss, just kind of as a force, was terrifying, and then seeing him inside of your beloved mentor, but yeah, no, we have a lot to say about Fable 3 in our previous episode. Go check that out. It's our pilot episode, or maybe don't check it out because it's probably our worst episode.
Yeah.
Or not, just go check it out. Just compare it. Compare it with, I think we're slightly less shit.
Didn't you even post something else about that? Like an actual a let's play? Didn't we do a let's
There's
play?
a let's play. There's a let's play, and it is completely free. It's our only let's play that's going to be free. It's the only let's play that's out right now. But it's our let's play commentaries are going to be more like Patreon content, which we've talked about before. But in this case,
It's definitely something to check out.
yeah, check out the Fable 3 let's play.
Particularly because it's our only one and we need someone to check out something.
And kind of get hooked. And we're putting out more Patreon content, like the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, a name that will come up in this episode.
Yes.
More on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, right at my number 4 was Dark Bowser and the Dark Star Core and Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And I was thinking about this, and I had to include an RPG somewhere in the list, and I felt like a turn-based RPG, boss battle.
Absolutely, particularly because we're doing our Mario review after this. It's good to have a little bit of Mario in there.
Yeah, we'll be doing a Mario review at some point this season.
I thought you were talking about the one we're doing today and this episode, the new Super Mario.
Oh shit, you're right. I thought you were talking about specifically about this game.
No, just today.
No, like just Mario in general. Yeah. No, that's gonna be our random game review later. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. It's a lovable, very unique RPG series as a whole. And then Bowser's Inside Story, I think, is the best game out of there. And recently it was remade. There's a 3DS version. Plus Bowser's Minions. And like I said, that's an episode at some point we're planning to do. Hopefully
Eventually.
as a bonus this season or something.
We can only hope.
But yeah, this again is the final boss battle in the game. And it's kind of there's a pattern with the Mario and Luigi series and having Bowser in some transformation.
Right.
But this one is unique in that you play as Bowser, and that was one of the best parts about Bowser's Inside Story was that a lot of the boss battles in the game, you actually had components where you played as Bowser and components where you played as Mario and Luigi inside Bowser's body.
It's a lot of fun. It really is.
There was a lot of gameplay mechanics involving that, but also, taking that into the boss battles, Bowser could swallow people. He had this ability to suck him in like a vacuum, and then the Mario Brothers would fight them on the inside. So a lot of boss battles took advantage of that and actually had a pattern where Bowser would suck something in, the brothers would fight it, and the Bowser Dark Star Core fight really utilized this to the best extent. It has that epic feel like, a final boss battle should have. It's probably maybe not the most difficult, but it's difficult enough that it's a challenge, but you still feel like a badass. And I don't think final boss fights in most games should be the most difficult of the game.
Right, I agree. They really don't necessarily should be because, like, for instance, another game we'll talk about later. Well, I probably shouldn't even mention it really, but cut that out.
Nothing is getting cut out this episode, Dakota. This is a bonus episode.
This is why we can't have nice things.
So I really don't want to go back in and edit any of this.
Fuck it all to hell. This is why we can't have nice things in the first place.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no. What did you think about that one?
Which one?
Dark Bowser
I had no.
and Dark Star Core. You remember that? You
No,
remember playing Mario and Luigi with me?
I remember the big boss battles. Like I remember like you blowing into the microphone, and that was great.
Yeah.
But honestly, I didn't pay attention as much. I remember very little of it.
Dude, the giant boss battles were badass. Maybe I should have
Really?
put one of those in there. But I don't know. This one also has that epic quality. Any of the giant boss battles in Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story,
Of course.
were amazing. But yeah, and then we've got your number 4, Dakota.
Oh, yeah, my number 4, Skyrim. I was just looking up multiple videos on this actually. Your Alduin fight, which is really interesting because you start off watching it through a flashback before you fight him. A flashback of like 3 other heroes fighting him, and then you end up fighting him later with those same 3 heroes. And the only reason you win this time is because you're there, obviously. But then he ends up escaping anyway, so it's like, what's the point? But it's a really cool battle. I remember it being really epic. I don't know. When I played Skyrim, I was like 12, so I remember the game being a lot more epic than maybe it was. Maybe it is, but I mean, people still play that game to this day, so it cannot be that bad, right?
It's a beloved classic, and it was
Exactly.
remade. With the Elder Scrolls not having released a game this generation, kind of shows how far Skyrim has reached,
Right.
in its legacy. But I never really got that far. I never did. I never got to Alduin. I never really got very far in Skyrim at all. But
Well, there were aspects of the game that I didn't even realize were in it because when I played it, I just kind of mainstream the story, and I went through the Elder Scrolls story, got the Elder Scroll, fought Alduin because that's what fighting a bunch of dragons. That was really all I found fun about the game at the time, and just exploring in general. But I didn't realize that you could like be a vampire or a werewolf or some shit. Like I didn't realize till all this time later, and all my friends was playing it and like, yeah, are you a vampire? You're a werewolf. I'm like, what the fuck does that? You can do that in this game? Like it's wild. There's a lot of things you can do.
The dragon boss battles, actually, all of the dragons that you fought in the game were a lot of fun.
They are. It's interesting. I guess they all have the same, I guess, mechanics really when fighting them. Just shoot them out of the sky when they get down, do more damage to them with your, actual melee weapons. But it was still a lot of fun to play. I mean, I had a lot of fun with Skyrim. I remember it, and I would love to pick it back up again. It's just I haven't even seen it in forever, so I have no idea what to even do with it.
Yeah. It's been a while, but we're going to talk about Skyrim at some point on the podcast.
Of course.
Unless Elder Scrolls 6 comes out first. But
right.
Skyrim, I think, because I think it's going to be the most interesting to talk about out of the Elder Scrolls game. Well, I haven't played any other ones as extensively as I've played Skyrim, which I haven't played that extensively
exactly
as it is. But I got a decent way into there, and I love a lot of the aspects of the game. Definitely going to be fun to talk about. My number 3 on this list is kind of interesting. This is I felt like I needed to include a melee type game boss battle, and in this case, I chose I guess my favorite action game, my favorite fighter, which is Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't remember the boss battles in it though. I just remember the multiplayer I was playing really. But I mean, I guess if it has anything to do with the story of the manga, then
yeah. I remember Ninja Storm 4 is like the final one. It represents the end of the Naruto series.
Right.
I'm a huge Naruto fan.
So I'm assuming you mean the Naruto versus Sasuke battle.
Naruto versus Sasuke.
Yeah, that was wild.
Sasuke Uchiha is my favorite boss battle from that game, and my number 3 on the list. And it's the final fight between Naruto and Sasuke at the Valley of the End. There's definitely a very epic feel to it. I like the quick time event sequences, and I like. I think the only thing that would have made it better is if they just kind of made a giant boss battle with Kurama and Susanoo, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But. Yeah, and I like the ending of it. I like the cinematics. I love the story. I think I like the extra part that they add in this game during that fight that really has a lot of emotional quality to it. The last game, well, I guess the last one, and we're not counting Revolution here, but Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 had kind of that branching storyline at the end so that they could kind of finish it off. And that part also wasn't part in the manga originally, but there's a story section right at the end that it's kind of it's an adjustment of how the final battle goes.
Right.
But anyway, remember that Naruto like fighting Toby and then breaking his mask?
With
his bare fists he does in the game. Yeah. I remember, and he's like, "This is gonna hurt." That was just a really awesome moment too, because you had like everybody calling out to Naruto, like Naruto.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool.
But that kind of happens in the Ninja Storm 4 fight as well with Sasuke. He like Naruto's like falling in the water, in the river, and then you got the imagery of like all the people in his life like pushing him up, and that was really powerful. So in the boss battle itself is fun. It's got more of the the traditional fighting sparring that's in the game, combined with some of those like quick time event sequences, and then even some other sequences where like Naruto and Sasuke are just completely like beaten up.
Yeah.
And you're just slowly moving Naruto.
Slowly dragging him along. Yeah, I remember playing that. That was a lot of fun.
It was a nice touch.
And
definitely that was the most cinematic, I think, of the Storm games. Or of Naruto games in general. So I really enjoyed that quite a bit. And I remember that was one that you'd played as well, Dakota.
Yeah, no, I did. I played that one. That one was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't remember. I didn't play through the whole story mode, did I?
I thought we got through all of it.
Maybe I did. Honestly, I couldn't remember. Yeah. I might have.
There was the Road to Boruto DLC too, and that was pretty cool. There were some cool boss battles there as well. That's notable to mention. But and what's at your number 3?
Oh yeah, my number 3 was the Star Wars Fallen Order, and I know it's kind of not really a boss battle, but it would be the Darth Vader one, which you can include the Trilla fight scene if you wanted to as well, because at that point, like the Trilla scene is just fantastic, just fighting Trilla, you know. And we just did our episode on it, so I can really say what I want to on about that. But I mean, fighting Trilla and you know the Darth Vader coming in and just taking over that entire cinematic, just I can't even talk about it. It's so like breathtaking. It's amazing.
Felt like a horror game.
It did. It felt like a horror game. It was so intense, and that was by far one of my favorites. That's why it's number 3 on my list, because it's just so intense.
Yeah, and that whole boss battle in general, because the Darth Vader you never actually fight, so it's more of just kind of like a cinematic event. But I think it's the conclusion to the Trilla Siduri, or you know, the second sister boss battle. So you know, just that whole fight as a whole has a very epic quality. One of the harder boss battles in the game, definitely.
Absolutely.
I think it's the first time I actually toned down the difficulty and beat the game in pussy difficulty. So.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm just kidding. It was I jumped down to not to story mode, but no, I think I did jump down to story mode because I was just getting sick of it. I just wanted to beat the game, and I knew how to beat the fight, but
you just couldn't time it right. I get it. I've been there.
Yeah.
I was that way in most of the game. Fighting the Ninth Sister, even I was like just so difficult.
That one I got through. You know,
I did.
I said, I
had
never lowered the difficulty. You know, down to that. I had it down at Jedi Knight after failing at Jedi Master, but
right.
Definitely want to go through that again and fight. You know, there was a lot of cool boss fights in that game. I agree, and I would have included it, but I think I just needed to include not just more recent things that we've done, but also just hallmarks of my gaming history and your gaming history. So that being said, the next boss battle on my list impressed me enough from the game that we are about to record. That I went ahead and added it. And that is the final boss fight. Like I said, a lot of final boss battles in this list because, for me, that's just something I personally enjoy quite a bit. And that kind of adds that epic quality. But it's Baldur from God of War 2018, the PS4 game that we're going to be recording next episode.
Yeah.
This boss fight is my favorite, I think, because of... And it was tough because the dragon, boss fight with whatever the fuck you call it, Hrazyler. I don't know.
I don't know how his names.
Another honorable mention, but
I just
that was
totally
cool.
Secret room. I'm sorry. I know this is intense, but I'm playing Super Mario Brothers Wii in the background, and I just found a secret room.
Hey, my boy. But no, yeah. That dragon boss battle was fucking cool. There's the whole feeling. I watched you play that just now, and the whole feeling of like I beat a dragon.
It was intense. No, it was a really cool fight scene. Like that's why I liked it better than Skyrim, because Skyrim and when you fight, it's more like when you fight Alduin, for instance, it's like okay, you're fighting another dragon. Like they're all the same. You're just fighting a bunch of dragons. I mean, it's cool the first time, and then maybe the second time, and then by the third time, you're like, okay, I can fight dragons now. But in this one, it makes you really think, like, oh, holy shit, this dragon's intense. Like, I just killed this motherfucker with my kid. Like, It's wild.
That was a fucking cool moment. Taking down a dragon. But even cooler than that was fighting, even, I think, a little bit more intimately with Atreus in the final fight. Because there's those, I guess the only actual... anything resembling QuickTime event sequences, because this is the first God of War game to not feature the QuickTime events, and there's I think one other part of the game that kind of get close to it, but you do have some of those elements in this fight, which makes it really cool. Just watching Kratos and Atreus fight together and take down Baldur is just a really badass moment, and it's got that grandiose quality. You're fighting fucking Thamer's corpse, and you've got Freya there. There's just emotions flying everywhere. Baldur's mad as hell because, but also kind of I think like full of life because, well, we won't get into the spoilers, but it's a badass fight, and it was definitely a high point for me when I was beating the game. I was so excited, and I was like, Dakota, you have to watch this. This is so fucking good, dude.
No,
like
it's crazy.
You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there, and we're gonna talk more about God of War next episode.
Yeah.
already. So that leaves us coming up close. We're at number 2 now.
Yeah, number 2. Here we go. Well, I don't know. Mine aren't really necessarily in any particular order because I really did like Star Wars, this new Star Wars one. But I can definitely remember playing Breath of the Wild's Calamity Ganon, and that was a pretty intense fight.
And even more so the Dark Beast Ganon.
And the Dark Beast Ganon, exactly. Just fighting all the different pieces of Ganon, the multiple fights during the game, the Windbreaker Ganon, and then what was it, what are all the names of the
Yeah, that's
bosses?
true. If you actually don't fight Fire Blight, Water Blight,
Wind
Thunder
Blight.
Blight, and
Yeah.
Wind Blight Ganon.
Wind Blight, there you go.
If you don't beat them early in the game, you have to fight them at the end
Right.
before you fight Calamity Ganon all
Yeah.
in a row. So that could be a very tough fight.
And I think there is just even throughout the whole game like that. Those are intense battles. Like
Yeah.
you have to really use your head and think and play, and they're hard boss battles. But yeah, the last one. I mean, once I got to that point, I kind of understood how all the mechanics work. So fighting the boss really was not that hard for me.
Yeah.
And I kind of particularly remember that playing and be like, wow, this wasn't actually all that bad. But I still had that intense feeling like, hey, I'm beating the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know how to fight him now. And so that's kind of what it more felt like. Like I was having a lot of trouble in the beginning, but now I know what I'm doing. And so it makes sense that I wouldn't fail.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. This is a case where the final boss, objectively is the most difficult fight. And it does work in this game. But it's not harder for you, like you said, because you've gotten so much equipment over the game. And Breath of the Wild is kind of like that. The game, boots up in difficulty, as you defeat more divine beasts. I think that's the only thing that it can do. But aside from that, you've got access to the entire world map. So you've got, access to some of the harder enemy types from the beginning of the game. So the game is hard throughout.
Throughout, yeah.
And it's just that, the enemies do get harder as you have cleared 1, 2, or 3, or 4 divine beasts. I remember that the enemies like levels are higher, but yeah, no. And so Calamity Ganon is no exception. Even though you've got more armor and you've got better weapons and it's a lot harder fight, it doesn't take away from like the epic feel of it. Knowing, okay, this has got to be the most difficult fight, and I've got to piece together everything I've learned up until now, and then that final cinematic moment when you're in the air with the bow of light, and the world pauses for a second.
Yeah, I know, it's intense.
That final moment of the game. So I was a huge fan of the Dark Beast Ganon fight in particular, and it was actually going to be an honorary mention for me before it popped up on your list.
Well, there we go. I'm glad that I was able to accommodate for your needs.
No, actually, this one, I wanted that to be on my list. And I had a difficulty between it and my number 1, which, surprise, is going to be a Zelda game boss fight. I saved the best for last. In truth, this entire list would be Zelda boss fights.
Yeah, and true for you, because you just love Zelda. I know you, but you had to have a little bit of variety, huh?
I had to have a little bit of variety. I was going to do 2 Zelda games. I decided to relegate it to 1. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But Calamity Ganon, Dark Beast Ganon was a big consideration for me as well. But yeah, that leads right into my number 1, which is Majora, or
Majora.
Specifically, you've got Majora's Incarnation, Majora's Mask, Majora's Incarnation, then Majora's Wrath, and The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. This boss fight is actually probably the easiest in the entire game,
Probably,
depending on how you face
how
it.
you face it, exactly.
It's also one of the more difficult ones. I've never actually fought Majora, I don't think, without the Fierce Deity Mask. So, no, I think I have, but I almost always fight Majora with the Fierce Deity, and that's what actually makes this boss battle the number 1 for me, and why it had to take the list. Because Majora's Mask
is overpowered, because you see him in the beginning, and then you go back to the exact moment which you had already gone, because you're going back in time or whatever, 3 days, and then you're back
it's
at
at the
that
final moment on day 3.
Okay, right. Okay, whatever. Well, the final moment on day 3, whatever it is, and you fight him, and it's just so intense because you're in that moment on top of that roof, and you're like, you got the Fierce Deity Mask, and you're fucking him up, dude.
Well, you're actually on the moon at
that
that
what it
point.
is?
Yeah, but
Damn, it's been so long, dude.
we're gonna do it. That's coming up next season. Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. I already
crazy.
said because Majora's Mask, Breath of the Wild. We did Breath of the Wild. That went out in the poll. So, but Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild are incidentally my two favorite Zelda games, and they're tied. But I think in terms of boss fights, this one had to take the cake just because of the emotional significance that it carries, the significance across the entire game. Because in order to defeat Majora, I mean, you can do it on your own, and you have to make use of the 3 different transformation masks, Deku, Goron, and Zora Link. And it's a fairly difficult boss battle. I have played it without the Fierce Deity mask. But with the Fierce Deity mask, it is insanely easy. It is
ridiculously easy.
But where it carries that, emotional weight, like I was saying, is kind of in the fact that in order to obtain the Fierce Deity mask, you have to obtain all 24, I think it is, masks in the game.
Right. And
you,
that takes a lot of effort because you have to do a lot of side missions, a lot of helping out a bunch of random people for no you would think with no reason. But if you collect them all, you get the most overpowered mask in the game, which allows you to fight the boss with ease.
And it makes him a joke.
And
you can only use Fierce Deity mask in that boss battle. In the original. In the remake on the 3DS, you can use the Fierce Deity mask also in the fishing pond. But I remember just that being the one part in the game where you could use that mask, and you always wanted to. And it may have made the boss battle easy, but the fact that you had to go through some of them, fairly difficult side missions, some of them having to go through entire side quest chains, like the Anju and Cafe, quest, I think twice to get everything that in the game that side quest has to offer. So there was a lot of trading and going out of your way, and honestly, looking at guides because you needed to, because you can't possibly find any of this on your own. But to get to that point, and so being able to use the mask, that's a culmination of everything in the game, not just the story, but any of the side missions that you did. You truly probably beat the game at 100% if you at least got the Fierce Deity mask.
Right, exactly. That's practically the 100% mark.
I mean, short of a few bottles and stuff, and upgrading all of your equipment and the pieces of heart.
Pieces of heart, I was going to say that, unless you don't, for some reason you wouldn't have all your pieces of heart.
But a lot of the other side quests were dependent on some of the masks that you obtained. So it was always worth it to get. It's always worth it if you're going to do any side quests, get all the masks in the game. It's kind of like in Breath of the Wild. I feel like if you're going to do any side quests, do all the shrines, because I feel like that makes the experience. Majora's Mask, I think collecting every mask is worth your time. Just because I think canonically speaking, the Fierce Deity Link is what happened in the timeline. That's the canon ending. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if that was confirmed, but in my mind, it's my head canon. Okay, Fierce Deity Mask, and I think there's some kind of history behind there, and it is just such a badass fight. So, and Majora is kind of actually freaky. So
he is. He's a freaky boss. It's just once you get to him, you realize how easy it is when you have the Fierce Deity Mask.
Again, obviously not the hardest boss fight in the game, but certainly the most impactful. That leaves us with your number one.
Which, of course, you cannot forget Minecraft Ender Dragon.
That had to be mentioned. You know what? I think I knew you were going to put that on your list.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have a feeling?
Yeah.
I mentioned that one because it's just, obviously, because this is kind of a joke, but at the same time, it's not. Like, you really think about it, you have to do a lot to get to that fucking Ender Dragon.
It's on a lot of people's top 10s, I think.
And it would make sense. It would make sense that it would be on people's top 10s or top 5s, because it's like, you almost realize it's not there if you didn't know. You know what I mean? If you didn't really know what was going on in Minecraft, you would know it was there. And getting to the end is hard enough, and then happen to finding like a nether base there with like dude, and then you got to find strongholds. Like, how would you know all that shit? Yeah. It's wild.
Again, it's not just the fight itself, but like the previous one, what it took to get there.
Exactly, the whole process to get there, the entirety, the thought process, the survival skills, the everything you need to know about Minecraft. There's a lot to it.
And yeah, I've actually never beat the Ender Dragon myself, but I've faced him. And I haven't actually taken all the steps to get beat the Ender Dragon.
Unfortunately, I've done that a few times.
But I have
was that
I have
12-year-old.
faced the Ender Dragon, and definitely a formidable foe.
Formidable foe. I like it.
Yes, very hard. I don't think I could beat the Ender Dragon, but maybe one day I will.
Maybe one day.
I never. Well, the problem is I love Minecraft, but I've just never spent enough time on it. It's kind
Yeah.
of like Skyrim. Skyrim was fantastic.
It's hard to spend a lot of hours on it
They're
because you have to
daunting,
spend a lot of.
yeah.
It's just that they're daunting. You have to spend so much time to actually get anywhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, but we're going to be kind of challenging ourselves with several episodes this season on those. So now we're going to go ahead and I guess that's our top 5 boss battles in gaming.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some more top 5s and top 10s. That's kind of what this topical format is going to look like, I think.
Right.
And then followed by a random game review. So
Very
we'll be
short
back.
game review.
We'll be back in a short moment in order to discuss New Super Mario Brothers Wii, which we've been playing throughout this podcast.
Yeah, throughout this entire podcast. This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah, we're playing New Super Mario Brothers Wii now. It's the game we're going to talk about. Honestly, this game is an integral part of our childhoods, right, Dakota?
Yeah, a little bit. I've been playing this for a long time.
I remember us being able to well, it's 4 players all at once, which is fun. So it's your typical Mario shit. Not much has changed except that you've got 4 players on at once. And honestly, it's managed in a really lovely way. It's another multiplayer game that allows a second player to kind of drop in and drop out. Not at any time. You got to play the levels, but better than the traditional Mario Brothers where, player 2 had to wait until player 1 died. And you suck at that part, Dakota.
Yeah, well, I'm catching up to you. You're going to die right here if you don't stop. Okay.
So now, everybody works together, and you can actually cause chaos, too. It's really fun.
No, it's more than just cause chaos. You can fuck the other player over if you're not
Right?
careful.
You can, right as we're speaking this, I'm lifting Dakota up and throwing him down a pit. We used to be dicks to each other, honestly. And this is so fun how you could do that at this game. And then the bubble mechanic is nice. Whenever you die, as long as there's another player, you come back as a bubble. So, I mean, this game really actually is better played with friends, but it's not like it's a different experience either way. The levels are the same, but playing with friends, like the Lego games, another game which does co-op multiplayer really, really well. There's always something for the other player to do, and the game is enhanced, but not a wholly different experience.
Right, yeah.
Playing with someone else. But enough that it's the ideal way to play. So New Super Mario Brothers New Super Mario Brothers Wii, I should say, takes advantage of that. I think some of the sequels have as well, but I haven't played really any of them. But we lived to play this as kids. This was back on the Wii. We're playing it right now on the Wii U, and see, Dakota just bubbled up.
I had bubble to come to you because there's no other way to do it. Hey, you can get these coins, bud. Do not jump off of that rope yet.
That's what I like, though. Whenever you die, you come back as a bubble, and the other player has to pop you. So, I just died.
Yes, you did. You're trash.
So you kind of get continues if you play through this, or you can intentionally sabotage other players, or feel like I've got this, like Dakota and I just did in a level together. And I was like, no, I got this. And then we lost the level because everybody was dead. But yeah, no. And this game had some pretty impressive boss battles, I guess, on the topic of it.
Right.
In typical Mario format, they were all, just repeat the pattern 3 times. But it kind of had that pattern boss fight. I guess I should say
that 3-phase.
And but it's in Mario. It's always 3.
It's always 3. Yeah.
Some of the bosses I think were more unique than others, but I believe they were the Koopalings. But I guess I can't say that they're all too memorable right now. I mean, in the end, it is Mario. Not a lot of it's different, but
Got that one.
What I liked about this was the cooperative play. I think that this game, was enhanced, and the propeller hats are damn fun.
Hell yeah, they are. And the penguin suits.
The penguin suits.
Fuck yeah, the penguin suits are awesome. You can slide fucking everywhere, man.
Well, they do the same as the ice flower, I remember, but you can also slide on your belly.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, and we talked about Mario, earlier too. This was something I think I was playing even past the point, that it was kind of for my intended age group, and I still enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, it was still fun. It's always. We're playing it right now. I mean, shit.
Yeah, that's honestly that's why we're stopping every once in a while. We're
it's hard to focus because this game is intense, bro. These guys are hard.
Fuck.
These damn.
Carry on, my wayward son.
I know. Carry on.
Boom! You got it.
Let's go.
All right, we got 3 mushrooms.
3 of
Fuck
them.
yeah, dude.
That sounds great. That's all we needed today.
We beat this entire game.
Plenty of times. I think we've done it multiple times, bud.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Let's go. Well, you and I could probably draw through this game pretty quickly if we tried.
Yeah.
We sat there with a bunch of monsters and a bunch of weed. Yeah, we get through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, we had. We're already in World 5.
Oh yeah.
We just started playing a couple minutes ago.
Exactly.
But when I say that, there's a warp from Warp 1, World 1 to World 5. So,
Yeah.
But it sounds impressive when you're like, oh,
I done warped, bitch.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Shit. I'm gonna get a Bowser. No, I'm not. Okay, we're good.
I got one.
Fuck yeah, these mini games were pretty. These are pretty intense. It's been a long time since I played this fucking game. But yeah, no, New Super Mario Brothers Wii. It's a fun take on a classic Mario formula. Obviously, nothing new or revolutionary per se. I mean, it's Mario.
It's Mario, yeah.
But it's pretty damn fun. And I have to appreciate the like I said, the cooperative game, the co-op gameplay. I have to appreciate.
I mean, it's pretty imaginative too. I mean, there's a lot of creativity put in this game. The backdrops are pretty cool. I mean, I love the 2D side scroller type. I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
Right, exactly. I think that's kind of what I was getting at there is,
Well, then this part's intense, bro. We got to go down to the bottom. Fuck these caterpillars.
There's something to be said about playing Mario games, as far as a lot of them are largely the same and stick to kind of the same formula. But it's something that where other games that's criticized, Mario, it's almost praised for. That is Mario.
Absolutely.
Mario is exactly the same now and is accessible to the same audience. And I think that that's important that we have games that are like that. They're kind of just timeless. They don't need to necessarily grow up with the gamer, but they can stay what they are. And some people will appreciate it, and some new people will appreciate it. I think the one after this, New Super Mario Brothers U, had the cat suits in it or something. Or was that Super Mario 3D World? I can't remember. They came out around the same time. I didn't play either one of them.
I think it was 3D World. I think even Super Mario Galaxy had the cat suits too, didn't it?
No, Super Mario Galaxy.
It had those
and
leaves.
Galaxy 2. There was a bee suit.
Oh, there's a bee suit. Is that what it was?
In the first one, I remember that. God. And it's been a while since I played those. But it's been a while since I played this game. I mean, we had to kind of refresh ourselves.
Absolutely.
We decided, fuck it, we're going to play it in the background.
Exactly. Might as well, right?
Make this a little more cash. But yeah, no, it's been a good episode. What would you rate this this game, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, out of 5, Dakota?
I mean, out of 5, I mean, that's kind of hard because, like, I want to rate this, with other games, but I can't because it's like apples to oranges. But at the same time, I mean, if I really had to rate it, I guess, goodness, I guess I had to do like a 3.5.
3.5? That's fair.
Give it an honest rating.
Objective quality. And I would stick to there, but for this game accomplishing everything that it intends to do, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. I think just taking certain things into account, taking into the technology at the time, taking into account the intended audience. And I know that you could say that for anything, but I kind of want to look at this objectively and in its intended purpose, how well did it do? And when it comes to video games, a lot of times you kind of have to look at it that way. So 4 out of 5 for me. Not saying that like I prefer it, and I'm more likely to replay that over maybe something on another episode I might have considered a 3.5, because it's definitely not. It's not something like I just really pick up anymore. It's not like one of my like favorite games of all time, but yet so it's kind of surprising that I wouldn't want to play this. But I guess because we just don't have a Wii and we never play it anymore, and this game wasn't groundbreaking enough to let's bust open the Wii to play it, and almost everything else we want has been ported at some point. But yeah, no. Memorable experience nonetheless. Definitely an integral part of my childhood.
Yeah, I agree. This is something that I don't know. It's right. It's another part of my childhood.
This brings up so many memories, Dakota. You, me, and Chrissy.
My sister. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like a family thing, not just you and I. It's like there are so many people we played this game with when we were younger, just because it was fun. It was the only big multiplayer game we could all just fuck around with.
Yeah, it did.
Especially because you could
really
fuck with each other. Yeah, you could not only it was like friendly fire. There was chaos.
Yeah, you could always fuck with each other, and I think that's one of the best parts. And you know what? Also, what's not one of the best parts is these fucking
caterpillars,
the wigglers. Yeah.
Wait.
All right, come on, bro. We got this.
Watch this. I'm gonna get this right.
Hey,
here.
This is gonna be good too because we're gonna be doing we're going to be doing Super Mario Brothers the movie on Collateral Cinema later this season, so that'll be nice.
That would be nice. See, this is what I don't like. Why can't my fucking fire shots fuck out these caterpillar wiggler bitches?
The 5 caterpillar wiggler bitches.
No, fuck them. Fuck the caterpillar wiggler bitches.
But yeah, I guess we'll kind of wrap it up there. Here, Collateral Gaming is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Chill Lover Radio. We are on wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever.
We're gonna put out some more YouTube content soon, hopefully. Some more Patreon content as well is in the books. We're gonna be doing some more of these episodes. Collateral Gaming Bonus Round, at least at the same frequency. Collateral Cinema is doing Collateral Cinema Director's Cut. Speaking of which, I guess I'll throw Bo a little shout out there because they shouted us out in the last episode but this motherfucker's like, Ash will throw a fit if we don't.
That asshole. That sounds like
if
Bo.
we don't mention Collateral Gaming. So, all right. So fuck you, but also thank you.
No, you do that and then you bubble, bro.
That's what I should have done. I should have
sacrificed
jumped up
yourself.
there and fucking bubbled.
Wow, we're thinking of all these edit time things. That's what's so great about this multiplayer is you can use that to your advantage.
But no, Collateral Cinema. We're gonna be doing Joker.
Fuck.
That's gonna be our next movie.
And I'm bubbled. Yeah, Joker. Is that what you said?
Joker.
That's gonna be exciting. I feel like that came out
I've been
forever
wanting
ago, but
to watch that for a while now.
I have been too. I feel like we've been putting it off for a while, but on all this quarantine shit's messing with us too now.
Exactly.
Can't even go to the movie theater anymore.
We're not even all together anymore. We're gonna be Skyping in. Dakota happens to live with me, so he's quarantined with me. But as far as Collateral Cinema goes, we're all going to be kind of in our separate places doing Skype. So, but Dakota and I will be here at the studio, the better studio, my studio.
Skip it. There's another one.
And Bo will be in the old studio, which I got to be in for our last Sonic episode we did with Collateral Cinema.
Interesting.
It was kind of cool being back in the old studio, the shack. Oh shit, you're.
I'm gone.
You're gone.
This is all you need. Now you're gone. Now we're both gone. Rest in peace.
My God, ladies and gentlemen, what are we?
We're the worst Super Mario Bros. Wii U player.
But yeah, no, Collateral Cinema, you can find wherever you can find Collateral Gaming. I'm going to have a lot more content out there as well. Dakota and I are there. Come join the party. If you love video games, you probably like movies, so feel free to check it out. Does it make a start over the whole world?
Yeah, it makes you start with the whole world. Bud.
Shit.
It's okay. We only got one episode in.
That
we were
sucks.
only on round 2, so we can breeze through this world again.
But yeah, Collateral. As far as Collateral Gaming, you heard it. We are going to be talking about God of War, the new one, the boy. And you know, I think God of War does need a subtitle. It needs to be God of War, boy. Dakota was actually just playing some. I've beat it. And I've beat almost all there is to do. I'm just finishing up. I'm fighting fucking Valkyries, which are hard as fuck.
Hard as fuck.
But I beat the main story. It was phenomenal. That game is a piece of art. Stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing, since we're quarantined, and we're going to be, you know, kind of finishing our Let's Plays maybe and getting caught up on some things that we've been promising for a while. Being able to actually play the games, Dakota.
Yeah, actually playing them. That's going to be nice. And also, Dakota, whenever I played fucking Death Stranding, you wouldn't do shit. So don't even talk.
Hey, I got actually pretty damn far in Death Stranding.
You did not beat Death Stranding.
I did not beat it, but I got pretty damn far.
Yeah, you had to put hours into it. But yeah, that's a hard game to beat.
And I was able to get ahead after that. We started doing...
hey, Crownbone here.
We started doing our last episode,
Damn it.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We mentioned it. That was a fun episode. Go check that out if you haven't already. Go check out our At the Movies episode crossover with Collateral Cinema.
Yeah, that's our second crossover. First one being in our, I remember that one, Bandersnatch.
Yeah. And we've got some more. Well, actually, it would be our third. Our second one was the Room episode.
Oh, you are right.
And we've got another one planned this season, so stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing that later on down. Partially just to keep suspense, partially because I don't want to like break a promise.
Honestly, I get that.
But yeah, I guess that's about it. We're rambling on long enough. This episode is kind of more just a casual thing. The audio on here is fucked up. I know. I can't do anything about it. I don't have an interface. We're using this fucking... We're on quarantine, so I can't even go buy an interface. I couldn't get one, in time for today. Hopefully by the next episode we can get that ready. Or I can borrow the one from Bo somehow. But we're social distancing, so I can't see Bo. But anyway, we're using a fucking external sound card. It's like a little USB device, and it honestly it was $20. So shout out to Best Buy for good coronavirus procedures and being able to be in store, but like taking preventative measures. So they were good about that, and they were open. What we didn't get into, and I kind of wanted to turn this into, was kind of more of a gaming news. Moving over our Collateral Gaming news.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it a little bit with coronavirus going on, but one thing I want to mention...
No. Why did you grab my fucking big thing, and then you died? You monster! This is why this game is fucked up.
I'm only half paying attention to this, so, I've got both my eyes closed. That's what Donkey says.
Oh, yeah.
I love that YouTuber. It's funny.
Oh, you're out, bud. How did you just go out? Didn't we just die?
Yeah.
You were already dying again on round 1.
I honestly have not been playing very well. The fuck was I talking about? Right. So another thing with the the coronavirus going around, COVID-19, E3 was canceled.
A lot of things are canceled.
Yeah.
Yes,
I guess maybe we will end up doing our Collateral Gaming news segment, but I kind of like to move it over to this part. Kind of do it in our bonus rounds from now on. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Definitely give us a rating, review us, hit us up on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're trying to kind of kick up our Twitter game. For some reason, I've been keeping up with Insta, and I'll post some things to Facebook like memes and shit. But Twitter's the one that's a little intimidating because there's just such a huge world out there. But we'd like to interact with some more fellow podcasters. Interact with us there. Go follow us on our regular social media accounts. That's fine. And also leave us a review in Apple Podcasts. If you use that platform, leave us 5 stars and a review. Let us know what you think. I say rate 5 stars, but if you want to rate us 1 star, you're welcome to. I really hope you don't. Please don't. But but be honest. How about this? Be honest, okay? If you actually believe we're worth 5 stars, give us 5 stars. But if not,
no, give us some fucking 5 stars.
Don't give us anything. There you go.
We need
That's
some
how.
5 stars. Don't listen to
Yeah,
him.
spread the word. Collateral Gaming. I think that's about it for me. What about you, Dakota?
That's really all I have to say today, bud.
Alrighty. Well, I am Ashley Chancellor.
I'm Dakota Chancellor.
This is Collateral Gaming Bonus Round. We are out.
Out.
Collateral Gaming is an L Company production. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators, are used for educational purposes only, and are fair use. Please don't sue us. We're poor.